So, what are men like in Portland? What are dudes like? I'm going to address that in this video. I've talked a little bit about my experiences with females, why I'm not in the dating scene, how materialistic it is, especially those that act like they're new agers or hippies. They're not any different than those women you might find in Beverly Hills. There's very much a similarity in the mindset and focus on physical beauty and materialism. And fake goddess worship, which is them being worshipped. But what are men like? What are men like in Portland? And I'm going to go ahead and talk about what a lot of men are like, but this does not mean every man, just like my videos about a lot of women aren't about every woman. You know, as far as those that I know that are Facebook contacts, they're not the type of guys that want to get together for a cup of coffee and actually do something. They stay Facebook contacts. They're very much immersed in technology. Perhaps they're very much immersed in having a cell phone and other things. So a lot of the really intelligent comments that I get on my videos on YouTube and Facebook, they're usually from guys that are not in Portland. So whatever is going on in Portland with technology, with society, with culture, you'll have to forgive me, I'm sweating. All of a sudden it's gotten really warm here in Portland and we've got a sunny day. So I'm using this natural light here and inspiration to put together some thoughts. There's a lot of, it attracts a lot of taller white men that are really feminine. And I'm not saying this to be mean or sound insecure. I'm giving you like a demographics layout. You'll also find a lot of shorter men working in the restaurant industry as bussers. The height that a man is at usually dictates how far he'll progress in the restaurant world and perhaps in other aspects of society, but sometimes you will see shorter men in middle management that are total power trippers because they've learned to act a certain way to get in the position that they're in and hold their position because they suffer from a version of short man syndrome. So there's a lot of very interesting personalities that I've seen here. There are certain men that act like they're tough guys that wear the MMA shirts, the tap-out shirts, and they're out there looking for a fight. Sometimes I'll see them walking like they're a baboon, doing this type of thing, and literally like looking around, and they literally, some of them look like they have a Neanderthal skull. Like it's elongated. They almost have like an alien skull, like a ooga booga, and you know, not quite like at the level of the alien skulls or crystal skulls, but definitely Neanderthal-like. So those genetics are here as well. Those that haven't been completely feminized, those that aren't necessarily really tall and lanky, but you also have like the gorillas, like I said, just walking around. There's a lot of men here that have been fucked over by the world and society. So it's not always easy to read certain men. There's a lot of men that are like really like withdrawn and very like aware, being aware of threats, being aware of potential predators, anything crazy to happen. So every now and then you see like men that seem like they're calm, cool, and collected, and they're keeping a good eye on everything. I just noticed one right now. Again, a lot of people trying to act tough like they're gangsters, driving certain vehicles, not exclusive to Portland. But as I see one go by right now, there's all different types all throughout the city. People that want to have eye contact with you. There's a lot of mentally ill, homeless men that are here, and that's usually caused by being homeless. So there's a lot of poor, suffering men that are on the street, alcoholics, a lot of drunks, a lot of people that have had some very fucked up lives. A lot of people traveling, a lot of people on the go, a lot of people that end up in Portland because they hear about Portland. So the nomadic man oftentimes ends up in Portland. And there are some very successful, talented, creative individuals as well that have chosen to call Portland home because, again, it has that reputation of being, and of course we have a lot of bikers and sports enthusiasts. You don't have a lot of men that are into the alternative media, however, or hosts that are based in this region. And the few that are very self-serving, and I'm not so sure they're on our side. The one particular guy who's being propped up by the mainstream media and Fox News at this time, who spreads truth and disinfo. You don't have to be a brainiac to decipher who that is. And so seeing what this place has done to a lot of men, it's made men a lot very catty, aggressive. In the past in Portland, men got in a lot more fights. Things were far more violent. And they still are to a certain degree, but nothing like they were in the 70s and 80s from what I've been told by men that are in their 50s and 60s now that were alive then, or at least people that were in the fighting scene. And there was a fighting scene back in the day where people would know who the tough guys were in town, and people were all into their ego as to who can beat who up. And, there's a lot of gangster shit going on back in the day. But men physically looked different as well in previous generations. Their muscles were larger. Things were very different back then. Although you see a lot of steroid abuse today and certain physiques becoming a little grotesque, in general, men look far more frail to me. Like more easily broken, like, come here, you. Not necessarily by me, but maybe by, certain other monkey Neanderthal type humans that are, walking down the street just waiting to smash into something. So I talked about the traveling male. I've talked about the Neanderthal male, the gangbanger, the feminized male, also the hipster businessman male, and certain white males that have a certain bearded hipster look that are at least 6 foot tall, traditionally becoming more successful in business, employment, and with women. You do see a almost prototype. And I'm noticing more of these individuals cutting in line at the grocery store. And I've seen both whites and blacks in the same week within 24 hours walk right in front of me like I wasn't there at the self-checkout. And, they have no idea what they're doing. They're literally just, I'm going to walk over you because I have 6 inches on you. There's a lot of racial and height supremacy in today's day and age. And me being aware of this is not short man syndrome, just to clarify. Excuse the sweat, by the way. Please excuse the sweat. It's not short man syndrome or racism to be aware of other people's tribalism. And I hope the audience today is conscious enough of that. We need to actually start discussing the unconscious behavior within society. You can start a webcam channel. You can tell me what you see in your town. That would be great. I would actually watch. So what I'm doing is basically sharing that this is not just about unconscious women in Portland. There are many unconscious men in Portland that are just consumed with video games, consumed with sports, consumed with working, consumed with chasing pussy, consumed with Democrat, Republican politics, consumed with acting like they're a hard-ass anarchist if they are somewhat politically active, calling for violence, acting like they're some sort of a tough guy. If they're not actually joining the system, they're going to act and operate by the system's rules in another way. You don't really see a lot of really spiritually aware, politically aware, and active people, and even less in the alternative media. The few that are spectators, they mostly like to stay connected on the internet, and they're really quick to criticize. Portlanders in general, and I'm going to close here, are really mean to other Portlanders that they feel have something more than them or those they're threatened by. It's a way that they hold up the narcissistic personality that for some reason seems to really thrive here in this region. I don't know what it is, but there's something about Portland that really brings out the narcissist. So whether it's male or female, this prototype sociopathic personality seems to really love these types of environments of competition and scarce resources and limited space. It elevates their sense of self in their own mind to put someone down and take from others. There are very few good men that I even know of in the Portland area. I will say somebody gave me some work last week, and we worked till 2 o'clock in the morning cleaning floors. Interesting thing about his racial background, he was Native American. Talk to you guys later.